Good morning. Today on DIY Solar Power with Papa, off-grid projects, I wanted to talk to you about these mini splits. I actually have three different brands. That's a 12,000 BTU, 120 volt mini split. This is a Hesiar 18,000 BTU, 220 volt. And also we have the other brand we have is the premium. There's dozens of brands out there right now. We're running the heat in here. There's dozens of brands out there that you can use, but these three, I haven't had really any problems with any of these at all. The one thing I wanted to share with you is the efficiency and cost of these. Now, 4 years ago, we had this 3.5 ton replaced. And this is a Carrier unit, but I could have got like a Goodman for like $5,000 installed. And here it is 4 years later, and that same unit installed is $10,000. So pretty much doubled in just 4 or 5 years. And that one was, I got a Carrier, I got a 10-year warranty. Anything goes wrong with it, I don't pay a penny on that. And then this is a 4-ton, same thing. I got a thing on that. And with all the bells and whistles and everything else, this one was like $6,800 and that was like $8,600. Now, this one would be $10,000 to $12,000 today. And this 4-ton would be about $12 to $13, maybe $14,000. That is just ridiculously high in just that short period of time. Considering these mini splits, here's the aux right here, and there's the premium right there. This one was like $700, and this one's like $550 a couple of years ago. And this went up to maybe about $600, and this one is maybe $750. Now, this will do a 600 square foot room. This is supposed to do a 600. I would say more closer to a 500 square foot. But right now, I have this one and one of these completely for my downstairs of the house. And the downstairs of my house is probably around 1,400, 1,500 square feet. And these two units that cost less than $1,300 completely keep that cool in there without running the other ACs if I don't want to. So just wanted to share with you that with the ridiculous prices, and they're saying shortage on parts and everything else, you can install these yourself. The refrigerant is in it. Watch a couple of videos, get familiar with it. If you feel confident, do it. If you don't, hire somebody to do it. It's still a lot cheaper. But everybody that watches the videos, learns about these things, says it's pretty darn easy. So it's not bad. But this unit right here, this one will do like 500 square feet. This actually runs the length of this whole entire kitchen and will keep this whole area over here heated or cooled. And that's close to, I don't know, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 26, 27, 30, 36, 39, 42, 45. And it's probably about 50, 55 feet that air is traveling from here all the way down there. Now we got this room, which opens up to an 18-foot ceiling. And we have this premium, like I said, this one does about 600. And whether it's heating or cooling, this will keep this entire room over here nice. I can run both of these in the summer when it is 115 degrees out, fire these things up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and my downstairs with just these two units running can be around 68 to 72 degrees that I can keep it at. Very efficient. So with the price of air conditioners going extremely insane, it's inflation, you might want to give these things a little consideration. I've had some of these for 3 years now, and I've had no problems with them whatsoever. No leaks or anything. When I installed them, I used a this stuff right here for the it's called nylon blue for the threads of the lines, refrigerant lines, and that kept my refrigerant from leaking, and I've had no problems with that. So really, I want to say that was like $8 or $10 for that too, but I was able to do like 5 air conditioners, 5 mini splits with that. You know, this right here, this 18,000 and this 12,000 is the equivalent to almost the equivalent to my 3.5 ton. This is 3 ton of air conditioning, and this keeps this entire 3-car tandem garage cooled in the summertime to about 65, 68 degrees. We have our insulated garage door and our west wall insulated with 2-inch foam on there. Nothing, we just got cabinets over here, and this doesn't get any really direct sun, maybe a half hour a day. And these are inside walls. So these will actually keep these. Now, the one thing you can to say about these is you can split these into zones. You could get like this 18,000. Well, you might need to go up to 24,000 probably, and you can go 2 zones. So 12,000 BTUs for each zone. So if you had like 4 bedrooms downstairs or upstairs, you could get a 4-zone mini split where you have one of these head units in each one of the rooms, and it doesn't have to be on while the other ones are on. You could just turn one bedroom on while you're using it, and the other 3 could be off, or you could turn all 4 of them on at the same time. They're completely independent, but they're hooked up to one outside unit. You can also get ceiling cassettes that, they're a little more expensive, but even if you got like 3 or 4 different units where you have one outside unit, you could pretty much, if you don't mind a challenge, you could pretty much do it yourself. You'll probably have to get a vacuum pump. They're about $130, and some gauges, about $20, $25. And then, like I said, I use this nylon blue to put on the threads to seal it up so that I wouldn't leak my refrigerant. And so far for 3 years, I've had no problems with it leaking out. But just want to give you an idea there, because I know that I have friends and neighbors looking for an air conditioner, and it's the late February right now of 2023, and they're all being told the minimum is $10,000 to put in the cheapest air conditioner, like a Goodman, which came with the house, I mean, they'll last 15, 18 years, maybe 20 years, but the efficiency, 20 years ago wasn't as good as what the efficiency is now. And actually, when I had this installed, I paid $6,800 with a warranty for 10 years and everything. I could have got a Goodman installed for around $4,000 to $4,500. I mean, it was pretty reasonable back then because there was a glut on the market, but they've caused the inflation to go up so much. But, I don't, knowing what I do now, I probably would tackle, replacing my own units, buy them, and because the refrigerant comes in these now. The only thing is you got to put that filter dryer on there, and you need to know how to do the soldering on those to do that hermetically sealed, as where these are fittings right here that you just screw on and tighten. So, but I will say they do have, it's kind of like a shark fitting, but it's not shark, that they have specifically designed for these units, heat pumps. So you could actually put that filter dryer on and connect it over to this line and connect this line to it using those fittings without having to use a torch at all. I have watched a couple videos on that. So, by the time you go out and buy the torch and everything, it's probably going to be around the same cost. So, but you don't have to worry about like getting up in the attic and using a torch. Outside, it's not a big deal, but upstairs, just, you set that down the wrong way. It's on fire. But they do have those fittings now for the air conditioners. So, and I've seen where you can buy these units on eBay delivered, like a 3.5 ton delivered for like $3,500 with all the stuff included, the filter dryer, and the refrigerant inside this unit, the A-coil unit upstairs, everything you need to pretty much install it. Some of them come with emergency heat strip and some of them don't. So you'd have to check and see. But that's a third of the price of what they're charging to have a professional install right now. So, do your homework, see about it. And, right now, if I didn't have the money, I'd buy these mini splits. And, for $600, putting two of those downstairs, I'd actually probably put two of these. So they're about $750. So two downstairs is, like $3,000 complete, as where your downstairs unit, I could have put 3.5 ton. That's what was there before, was 3.5 tons. But, 3,000 versus 10,000, big difference. And, who knows? These things probably will last you about 5 to 7 years. And you can replace them, and there's probably going to be something even more efficient. But, if you're broke and don't have a lot of money, you might want to think about it. And now with us, of course, we're running all of our stuff on solar, and all those mini splits, the 12,000 BTU ones are 120 volt, and they don't use that much power at all. The 18,000 BTU is 220 volts. It uses about 16 to 1,800 watts at max, as where the 12,000 BTUs will use about 800 to 1,200 watts max. And I can actually run a mini split with my inverters just using These poly panels over here, got them all over the yard. I 6 panels right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those 6 right there can easily run one mini split all day long. From the time the sun comes up and hits it to the time the sun stops hitting it, it'll run it. It's more than enough. On that, they're 250 watt panels, so it's 1500 watts. So I can easily, when the sun's hitting on this, get like 900 to right around 1300 watts off these panels. Now, this is 16 panels over here, so that's 4,000 watts. I could run 3 mini splits off of these 16 panels. And I actually have 16 panels up here on my pergola. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you got a second set of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's on one pergola here. And then we have the second pergola. So another 4,000 watts. So I could run 8 mini splits with just that array against the wall and this right here. And I could run it all day long. And then if I have my lithium iron phosphate battery bank, and I have like 16 kilowatts. Right now I have one 48 volt battery bank that's 8 kilowatt. I could run 2 mini splits overnight on that thing if I have to. So 2 of those, those are 8 kilowatts for 4 12 volt batteries. But if you get a server rack battery, you're talking about 5 kilowatts, 3 kilowatts less. Kind of like those Battery Evo better, because although it's 4 batteries, I'm able to get 8 kilowatts, which really helps my needs. And we have mono panels on these 2 sheds right here. Those are nice because as we're getting a partial shade, like this one's in the sun, this one's in the shade, and as it starts to get sun on it, because these are monos, these will still start giving me power. Same thing back here. We had polys on this back wall, and even though we had them in series, they still were giving me a decent amount. But now these are monos back here, so we have these set up in 6 in series. So we got 2, 4, 6 right here. These 2 have some shading, but those are full sun. So those are being able to pass through. So we have 4 panels. Those are 330 watts. 660, 1320 watts coming off of there. Same thing over here. These 2 are fully shaded, but we got 4 panels. So we've got 1320 watts, 1320 watts. And those come together right here as 2 into 1. So we carry that in there, and 1300 watts on each of those. I can run 4 mini splits just off of those solar panels on that back wall back there. And I've had no problems with those. Those things are so tight up against the wall. We had like 40-mile-an-hour winds the other day. These didn't move at all. They're mounted. Someone want me to see a video. Hopefully they'll see this. When I mounted this, I mounted just a regular bracket you get with these. And I was able to screw 2 screws into the back here. I don't know if you can see that. Here's one screw and there's the other one. And then I used self-tapping concrete screws back here. So I think I can pull this one over here. Now that one's mounted on there too. So, but these are solid against that wall. And they have very little play in them. I'm pulling on that thing and it's only like a 1/2 inch play. And it stays tight against that wall. But I picked up these 330 30-watt used poly panels for 35 bucks a piece. And they look brand new, and I'm getting power output of these like they're brand new. So that was over at the Santan sidewalk sale, virtual sidewalk sale in December and January. But we also have 14 panels up here. Now, one of the things I was going to say is I have these panels up here flat, and now that I have the table saw, I'm actually going to rip some wood to where it's going to be thick at one end and then go down to a point at the other end, so that rather than be flat like this, they'll have an angle so when it rains, the rain will wash off. Because what happens is these will puddle up on there and they will get dirty, and the dirt will affect the output. See, over here on this wall, I have just a slight angle. I mean, it's not really that much of an angle, maybe a 3 to 5 degree angle. So I think it's only like a 4-inch difference between the back and the front is like 4 inches shorter on this pole. And but it's enough to see the dirt collects right here, but it's not affecting too much of this. But see, like if it was flat, here's one over here. This, I gotta get out here and clean these. I usually clean them like every 3 months, but you can see there's some settling right there. So if you can go like a 30% angle, you're much better off. These panels up here are a little bit better angle, maybe a 10 degree, 12 degree angle, and they hardly have anything. Again, these are about the same angle here, but this is about a 30 degree angle right here. And if you look on these, there's no dirt collection at all. So, but you know, I put those pergolas, the panels on the pergolas, because I didn't have a lot of time or strength to mess with it, and they've done well. And all I got to do is get up there with I got a brush around here that extends to like 12 feet. So I can get up on a step ladder with a hose and just hose it and squirt it up there and clean those panels. And to clean 16 panels, God, it takes me maybe about 10 minutes. So 10 minutes to clean this, 10 minutes to clean that. And then on top of that, I have like 20 extra panels back here in case any of these panels go bad. I was only paying 25 to 38 bucks a piece for these things over the last 3 years. But if you're interested in doing the solar with your mini splits or your air conditioners, check out my other videos. Got quite a few videos now on how to run your main heat pumps that came with your house off of solar. And this one has a soft start on it. And this used to be like a 72 to 78 amp inrush on each leg when I started it up. And I couldn't start it up on the 6 kilowatt grow watt that I have before I put the soft start on the controls here. But after I did, it dropped it down to like 18 to 22 amps inrush, and I could start this up. I run this one off my 6 kilowatt grow watt and this one off of my 12 kilowatt, but I could run both of these if I want to. Now that I have some more panels, move my arrays around, and I could run both of them off that 12 kilowatt. And I think this is like, it's like 3,800 to 4,500 watts. And this one is maybe about 2,800 to 3,200 watts. So easily could run that off of, I could maybe run it off the 6K, but you're not supposed to max out a 6 kilowatt grow watt with the power close to 6,000 watts. You'll greatly reduce the life of that inverter that would last you 15, 20 years. I even have this one where I can start. This is a 12.5 ton, 3.5 ton, 4 ton, 1 ton, 12.5 ton. This is 186 amps inrush on each leg. Put the same soft start that I did on that one on this one, and it reduced this down to, I believe it was like around 42. It averaged around 42 to 50 amps on each leg to start it up. And then it dropped it down right around 38 to 45 amps running it once it was up and running. That's my pool heater. That was insane to get that thing going. I had to run 6-gauge stranded wire. I had to buy a 500-foot spool and run that from there underneath this channel here, come out, come behind there. It's in conduit. That red wire right there is not the stuff. That's another experiment. And we ran it all the way back behind the house where the inverters are on this side. Those inverters and the heat pumps, here's that 18,000 BTU in the garage and 12,000. And those are mounted on the wall right there on the inside. The other thing I do is I've seen on the installation of these mini splits where they'll drill a hole 8 feet up and bring that refrigerant lines out and then go down. And out here, this is my west wall. When it's 115 degrees out here, that wall is probably 180, 190 degrees. I did not want to bring that out at 8 feet high and drop it down. So I brought my lines out down at the bottom of it, and it keeps it much more efficient. So you can see over there, much easier. And tell you what, these all run good. This is the living room right here. The two in the garage, the living room, then the other one on the other two on the other side. One's as soon as I walk in the back patio door, and then one's the master bedroom right above that. So, and same thing in that master bedroom. That thing shoots that whole length of the house from front to back, which is like around 50 some feet. So just wanted to give you that advice on what I did and how I keep my house cool. Now I can run these 2 mini splits down here, and I've got 2 mini splits upstairs in 2 of the bedrooms. But usually what I do upstairs is I'll run that main air conditioner because cool air drops, heat rises. So I really don't need to use the heater in the wintertime. It just doesn't get cold enough out here. We don't get below freezing. So the house is so well insulated that I can run that upstairs air conditioner and cool the entire upstairs off of solar on that 3.5 ton heat pump. And I can get keep my upstairs at like 62 to 66 degrees by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I don't have to run my air conditioner the rest of the night until the next morning when I fire it up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, except for July and August. Those are the only 2 months. I will turn off my solar. I'll take it off of solar and I'll put it on grid. And my highest bill is $172 in the summertime when my neighbor's is $1,000 without any solar. So big difference. Anyways, please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget hit that notification bell. And I hope you have a truly wonderful and extremely blessed day. And we'll see you in the next video.